Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel Learning English with Hamid. We continue with our series on essay writing, and as part of that series, today we are going to do the third video. So let's get started. Well, what am I going to do in this video? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips. Yes, 5 excellent tips, 5 top tips for writing a perfect essay. And by the way, remember, the essay that we are doing is the academic essay. It's not a literary essay. So the first tip is learn and follow the conventions of academic writing. Conventions means rules. So, academic writing is a genre. Genre means a type of writing, a type. So, academic writing is a genre. Business English, for example, is a genre. Literature is a genre. So, every genre has its own rules, and so does academic writing. Academic writing is characterized by certain rules, and let's look at some of the rules. Let's look at some of the features or conventions, in other words. For example, the first feature of academic writing is formal. Yes, it uses a formal written style. So what makes writing formal, you might be wondering. What is formal writing, by the way? What are some of the features, you might be wondering? Well, formal writing is meant for audience we don't know personally. So, for example, you write a research paper and you publish it. So you don't know who will be reading your paper, you don't know. And in academic writing, for example, we avoid well, etc. Another point that you must remember about academic writing is academic writing uses formal words. For example, we use child instead of kid. We use father instead of dad. We use mother instead of mom. Keep this point in mind. Learn formal words and use them. Phrasal verbs, by the way, for example, are informal, so don't use them. Another point that we must keep in mind about the formal style is we use suitable synonyms for common verbs like do, put, get, and make. So we try to avoid these verbs. For example, we say several experiments were performed, and we don't say, for example, several experiments were done, right? Another point that we must remember about the academic writing is that we use full forms. We don't use contractions. So don't write, do not. Yes, in academic writing, in essay writing. So essay writing is academic writing, is part of academic writing. And in academic writing, in essay writing, we use passive voice more, as it focuses attention more on verbs and not on the person. So let's read 2 examples from the essay that I wrote. 2 examples of passive voice. The first is, though football is said to be the most popular game in the world. The sentence is incomplete. I have taken this from the essay and we talked about it in part 1. So this sentence is from the introduction. Passive voice is said. Another example from the same essays, but it should be done in moderation. So you see, passive voice again. One passive voice in the introduction, one in the conclusion. I'm not saying you should use one passive voice in the introduction and one in the conclusion. I mean, I have used passive voice in the introduction as well as in the conclusion. Another thing you must keep in mind is formal writing style, which academic writing follows, is precise, like it's clear. So we avoid words, expression, and sentences which allow no interpretation or ambiguity, like everything should be very clear. For example, don't use idioms, because idioms might be misinterpreted and idioms are informal in nature. So again, an example sentence from my essay. So this sentence says the first advantage of watching sporting events, read this, fun to viewers. Pause the video. So you see, this sentence is very clear. Yes, there is no ambiguity and there is no idiom, for example. It's very clear. Is it clear? Yes, it is clear. Another thing we must keep in mind about the academic writing is the formal academic style is we use hedging in academic writing, or academic style follows hedging. Well, you might be wondering, what is hedging? Well, hedging refers to how a writer or maybe a speaker expresses certainty or uncertainty. For example, you're not sure about something or you want to avoid absolute statements. So you might use may, for example. I have used hedging in that essay, in my essay. Advantages and disadvantages of watching cricket, that essay I'm talking about. If you haven't watched part 1, by the way, watch part 1. And the example sentence is watching fixtures may lead to health issues if watched excessively. So you see, I have used may lead to. I could have used excessive viewing leads to, but I didn't use that because it's like a fact. So be careful. I'm using cautious language. So I've used hedging here. I have hedged my sentence. A feature of academic style, hedging. The second tip for writing a great essay is familiarize yourself with the structure of an essay. What do we have in an essay? We have the introduction, then we have the main body, and then we have the conclusion. I'm sure you know that. But you must also know what to write in the introduction, what in the main body, and what in the conclusion. What to write where? Yes. I have noticed many students start giving their arguments in the introduction. Don't do that. It's a wrong approach. So you must be very clear about what to write where. The third tip for writing an excellent essay or a perfect essay is read your essay topic more than once. Yes, a very important point. You might be wondering, why should I read the topic more than once? Maybe one time I read it once and that's enough. Well, I advise against that. I advise you to read your topic more than once to be very sure that you are addressing the right topic. Because if we read the topic once, we might misinterpret, or we might give the examiner half of what they are asking for, right? So read it once, twice, thrice. It depends on the time you have, or select a topic you are comfortable with if you have more than one option. In some exams, you are given 3 topics. So if you're given 3 topics, for example, select the one that you are comfortable with. And we'll give the examiner what the examiner is asking. And don't digress. Digress means don't move away from the topic. So it's like, for example, I am talking to you about essay writing, and if I say essay is a genre and literature is also a genre, literary essay, and I start talking about literary essay, and then I start talking about my favorite writer, favorite essayist, and then I start talking about his or her personal life. So this is called digression. You move away from the topic and you talk about something totally different. Some students do that, and you should not do that. You're a good student. Yes, you're a good learner. Don't do that. And let's look at an essay topic. So we should read it more than once because we have been asked several things. So let's look at this essay topic. We have been asked several things, and we want to make sure that we give the examiner what the examiner is asking for. So the topic says, some people think that the government should provide free university education. However, some believe that individuals should pay for their university education. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Give reasons for your answer, and include examples from your personal experience. Write at least 250 words. So you see, we have been asked several things. If we read this topic once and we don't plan our essay, so we might not achieve the task response. In other words, we might fail to give the examiner what the examiner is asking for, and hence we might lose marks. So what is the first thing we are asked? you have to look at both the arguments, like argument for and argument against free education, free university education. So we'll look at both the views. Another thing is give your opinion. We have to give our opinion as well. We have to give reasons also. Yes, understood. We have been asked to give reasons. And we have to talk about, we have to mention our personal experience as well. And we have to write at least 250 words. Well, if we do everything, and if we do everything we are asked, and if we write less than 250 words, problem, you'll lose marks. So let's look at, so that's why we should read the topic more than once, because we have been asked several things. So we want to make sure that we don't misinterpret the task and we give the examiner what the examiner is asking for. The next tip, the fourth tip, is plan your essay. Yes, very important topic. The previous point that we talked about was also kind of planning. We are reading more than once because we want to plan well. So planning is very important. Don't write immediately. If you have, for example, 1 hour, or let's say 40 minutes, so if you have 40 minutes to write your answer, I'll be spending 5 minutes planning my essay, thinking of ideas, brainstorming. So don't write immediately. Jot down your ideas, write down your ideas, and you must know which point to write where. That's also very important. And keep in mind the time allotted. So we have that topic. Some people believe that university should provide, the government should provide free university education. Let's write the outline for this essay. So here is my planning for that essay. So in the introduction, yes, my first paragraph will be the introduction, and my second paragraph, I'll give an argument for free education, in favor of free education, free university education. In second paragraph, I'll give an argument against free university education. And in the third main body paragraph, I'll talk about my experience. And of course, while writing the main body paragraphs, I'll give reasons also. And introduction, yes, 1 paragraph, so 5 paragraph essay. This is how I plan this. You should also do the same. Moving on, like giving you some more details. For example, my first argument for the free university education is, it creates equal opportunities for everyone. That is my first argument for free university education. Argument against free university education, I say, for example, some poor countries can't afford it. In my opinion, so my opinion is it's up to the state, whatever the state is, to decide. But education till 12th grade must be free. So that's my opinion. So this is how I plan my essay, and I take like about 5 minutes. You should do the same, and then you should start your essay. So always plan your essay. Don't write without planning. The last tip, very important, your essay must have a thesis statement. Yes. What is a thesis statement? Well, it's a statement which outlines the whole, which outlines the main idea or the main ideas in your essay. So this thesis statement should be very clear, and let it be the last sentence of your introduction. It may not be the last, but usually it's the last. And state it, don't apply it. Like, say it clearly. I'm sure you know the meaning of imply. If you don't know, please check in a dictionary. Let's read the essay. Let's read the thesis statement I wrote. And this is from that essay, Advantages and Disadvantages of Watching Cricket Matches. So pause the video, read this essay. While watching cricket matches undoubtedly has its advantages and a waste of time. So this is my thesis statement for the essay. And is it clear? Do you think it's clear? I think it's very clear. There is no misinterpretation. Every word is clear. Is it the last sentence? Yes, it's the last sentence. If you check, if you, by the way, you should watch part 1, and you will see that this is the last sentence of the introduction. Is this the last sentence? Yes, it is the last sentence of the introduction. And has it been stated clearly? Yes, very clear. and there is no ambiguity. So that's it for today. 5 tips for writing a perfect essay. I'm sure you find these tips very useful. So this series will continue. More videos coming on essay writing, and please like this video, share it with your friends. Come back for more great lessons. See you.